Well, yes. Happy, happy, happy. How's everybody today? Woo! It is our Sunday gathering, and we are so grateful you are here. We have a global community, and I'm in a good mood. Phil and Carrie are away this month. They are busy in New Mexico, but we keep the party going. And Phil created our theme today, who will be speaking and how it's all going to go. He picked all that music. And today is Miss Carrie McLeod's birthday. So Carrie, we know you're watching the replay. Happy birthday to you from all of us on the Sunday gathering. And ladies and gentlemen, the chat box is open if you want to wish Carrie a happy birthday. I'll make sure she gets all of the messages. Today is a treat. We have the beautiful Shirley Ann Sharp here. We also have Craig Dowling and me, Sandra. How it's going to go, our order of service today, Shirley Ann will be doing our opening and closing prayer, also our address. I will be doing the reading and the words for the week, and also the things behind the scenes, all the music and such. And we have the wonderful Craig Dowling, who will be doing our demonstration of mediumship. So we keep on keeping on. This is Sunday gathering number 168. Today we are celebrating celebrations. What do you think about that? All the times that we can celebrate. Do we think much about celebrations? Probably not. Probably holidays, maybe your birthday. But I know for me, it's a birthday is the one day we can spoil somebody that we love. And I also know, being the recipient, I feel a little special. So we're going to look for ways to celebrate. And towards the end, in the words of the week, I'm going to give you my recipe for creating the best memories ever. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Shirley Ann for the opening prayer. And welcome, everyone.
Thank you, Sandra. And if we can just gather together, just in that silence, just in that reverence for one moment. And as the song said, gather together in a room with no roof. We have no ceiling at this service as we come together throughout the world and just hold hands, knowing that our hearts and our souls are very much linked together, inviting our loved ones, our spirit world close, drawing those two worlds together for this wonderful theme, celebration, as I let that vibrate through my body, the memories that I have coming up, and I'm sure you have them with the spirit world as they draw close. It's a time now just to hold hands with your loved ones. Draw your partner, your mum, your dad, your friend, one of your siblings close. Hold them just for this time we're together. Hold them close as they hold you, and share that love that you have always had between each other, that connection, that very deep bond. Let us share today. Just be about each other, whether we be in this world or in the next. Amen.
Thank you very much, Shirley Ann. So the reading I picked for you today is the importance of celebrations. To be honest with you, I never gave it much thought until Phil created our theme for today. We cherish special life milestones like birthdays and anniversaries for a reason. They represent continuity and growth, the unbroken threads that shape a person's life. They are a sign of triumph over adversity, of strength, and of hope, particularly in the later years when they represent decades of experience. The importance of celebrating life is reflected in physical and mental health, community and family relationships, and a healthy self-concept. Each of these is essential to an optimal quality of life. And here's how they work. So number one is physical health. Celebrating is good for people. It's an opportunity for activity, conversation, laughter, and excitement. Parties can mean games, singing, and maybe even a little dancing. Laughter opens airways, lowers blood pressure, and relaxes tight muscles. People eat and drink when they're celebrating together, and they perceive less pain. Number 2, mental health. This is the key to the importance of celebrating life. We are all social creatures, and we're happier when we connect with each other. Multiple generations of family can come together at birthdays and anniversaries to think about their shared history, to tell familiar stories and unveil new ones, to enjoy seeing how the children have grown, to feel close to people that they've known their entire lives. Anniversaries remind life partners of the years they've shared, the struggles they've endured, and the triumphs they've savored. Celebrating these events allows people the chance to feel like they've achieved something significant, that their commitment to each other has value in the eyes of their family and friends. The joy and comfort of these events is an important source of strength for people, even when they may lack the energy to do all the planning themselves. Number 3, family relationships. Families bond together because of the years of experience they have shared. Celebrations are an opportunity to deepen these bonds by bringing people together who rarely see each other. Special events become reunions, allowing far-flung family members to see each other in the context of celebrating their loved ones. These moments reinforce the continuity and endurance of family ties, another important source of strength and peace when challenges arrive. Number 4, community relationships. Family bonds aren't the only ones that help us stay connected. When a person has worked and lived in a community for years, long-standing friendships are often the result. Relationships of parents who raised their children together, professionals who worked together, people who shopped at the same stores, sent their children to the same schools, and doctors and baseball practices are also important to celebrate on special occasions. And number 5, healthy self-concept. The importance of celebrating life draws power from the ideas above, but it is also grounded in an individual's self-concept. A healthy person understands the whole arc of life as a continuous journey, punctuated by moments of pain and joy, but always changing. Special occasions are the milestones along this journey, chances to stop and reflect on life as a whole and on the person who has lived it. Giving people the chance to celebrate these milestones is an essential way to nurture their inner health. Celebration isn't just a party. It's a way to show someone that they matter and that their journey has meaning. Celebrations can be easy to postpone or ignore as we get older. Maybe it's hard to think about how many birthdays have passed or how many anniversaries. Maybe it's hard to celebrate without worrying about being a burden on family and friends. Maybe there are painful memories or unhealed grief that can make celebrating difficult. In all these cases, the answer is to stay focused on the importance of celebrating life. Don't skip the party. Let me say that again. Don't skip the party. Instead, adjust your plans so that your celebration fits your mood. The advantages of celebration are universal and can be as powerful in a small, quiet gathering as in a big party. And I know those of us who come to our Sunday gatherings, we know it's a celebration. It's a celebration of life and the afterlife, of being together and hopefully remembering the big picture, that we are souls having a human experience and that our life matters. We are going into our healing segment now, and Phil has picked a song called I Will Carry You by Ellie Holcomb. As we listen to our healing song, it's often said that we picture our loved ones healthy, happy, whole, instead of sick and needing healing. We picture everybody well. How the unseen forces use our energy to provide healing, I don't know, but I do know it is very real. It's helped physically, emotionally, and I think it is so important. So perhaps, if you'd like, imagine your loved ones healthy and whole. If you need a little healing yourself, imagine it for yourself too. Maybe take a little stroll down memory lane of times of celebration and feel that joy. It makes a difference. So let me find our healing song for you. And then we'll be back with an address from Shirley Ann as soon as this is over. Now over to Shirley Ann.
Hello, everyone, and it's so lovely to be with you again. And what a wonderful thing, celebration. The word celebration starts to make me think of all the fun times I've had with family and friends. Oops. The different achievements that have made such an impression and left a lasting smile that always warms my heart. And that's a celebration inside me, a personal moment unique to you. How do we celebrate ourselves, and do we even celebrate ourselves enough? And how those moments of appreciation for who you are rise up inside you, those moments that absolutely take your breath away. To appreciate and recognize those moments, and then, of course, make more of those moments, and to understand how and why those moments are so profound, helps you make more. So, to be able to celebrate yourself, knowing who you really are and how you fit into this universe, this world, is a big question. Let's recognize, as many speakers have done in the past, we are universal citizens. 24 hours a day, 168 hours a week, and 8,060 hours a year, you participate in this world, in this life that's yours. How? In this humanness, in this huge mass, do we answer that question? Who am I? We all are spirit, as Sandra said, having a human experience, living the life that you do. And it can be amazing. Sometimes we get little glimpses of the extraordinary. And often we bring out those memories when things are feeling just a bit tough. Who am I? Well, you may be a mum who's raised beautiful children. Your name may be Louise and you're a plumber. You may be a teacher. Or you may be Ben and you make burgers at the fast food local restaurant. You may define yourself by your job, how you look, your position in the community, but these experiences of you are all about the external you, your self-identity of who you are in this physical life that we live together. We all have a mental image of who we really are or who we think we are. So let's call this the human. But what about that inner you, that part of you that has the emotions and the passions, your inner light? Let's call that the soul. We all understand we are a work in progress, and so to speak, that unfinished masterpiece. The ongoing growth of you is something you feel happening. because your approach to things changes. Your reactions to things change, which leads to a change in your actions. You know you are a different person in many ways compared to who you were 5 years ago. This is a continuous process for all of us. And you know what? The great thing is we get to wake up tomorrow and we get another chance to change, to revisit or reflect, or to create a different outcome, or just to take a moment and just savor, just appreciate where you are and how far you've come. Can you just take a moment and imagine watching a sunset, looking at all its beauty, feeling the intense color, feeling the power of nature, being aware of the vastness. And just in that moment, you feel this overwhelming sense of space and intimacy and a connectedness beyond the sunset. You feel part of something much bigger than yourself. You feel this beauty, this peace inside. And just in that moment, nothing else matters. No troubles, no weariness, no sore body, no aching mind. The joy, the peace, and the freedom is amplified. You're not thinking, and you feel connected to this deeper part of yourself. This is the essence of who you are, that deeper part of you. Then that moment passes and you return to the external physical image of yourself, the self-identity of who you think you are. When you look into the eyes of your baby and connect to that love and awareness, the magic of newborn life, and you feel two souls connecting and blending, and that peace and that love rises up within you, you become aware of the essence of who you are through the connection of pure love. When you look into your puppy's eyes and everything around you disappears, accept the connection. And in that moment, nothing else has any importance. You are totally absorbed into this connection and you feel that very deep bond. When you come home and sit just for a moment, feeling contentment and satisfaction, because you know you've helped someone, you know you've made a difference to someone. You've stood up for something you believe to be true and right. And then an overwhelming sense of peace just wraps its arms around you. There's no thought of how or why. It's like your soul deeply acknowledges the healing and the happiness that you've so freely given. Looking over the physical image of who you think you are, looking through your personality into your deeper self, the other part of you. And we can even call it the other you. That's who you are, your true essence. Your essence gives life to every other part of your life. It's where you find your being. feeling without thinking, just clearing the mind chatter and fully engaging in that inner you is where the true essence of you lies, the soul. Knowing who you are helps you steady yourself through the challenging times. Having that inner calmness to know that this too will pass. This beauty lies within each and every one of us. And the celebration of who you are lies in those exceptional moments. Pure peace, pure love, and pure acceptance is being. Being more of being brings you closer to the essence of who you are. And the awareness of yourself is the ultimate celebration of you.
Thank you so much, Shirley Ann. Beautiful, beautiful words, and so heartfelt and special. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to move into our demonstration of mediumship now. And we've got the wonderful Craig Dowling, who will be our medium for today. If this is your first time on the Sunday gathering, or you've been here before, because we are celebrating, let's all just pretend it's our very first time. Craig has trained a long time and worked as a medium. And he's in our progressive group, I think, with Carrie and Phil. Being a medium is not an easy job. It is taking the information that's coming from the spirit world, trusting that they're putting it there for a reason, all the thoughts and feelings and sounds, and then being in front of a crowd of people and trusting those words and voicing them with the intent and the passion that someone in the community can find comfort and maybe sleep a little easier tonight because their loved one has come through. We, on our Sunday gathering, always volunteer our time to make sure, really hope and have that intent that you leave here happier, inspired, with that feeling of love. And the medium demonstration is that time to let everyone know that our loved ones are still around, that death is an illusion. Our bodies will die, certainly, but we live on. On my podcasts, if you follow them, there's so much great information through science now coming out about consciousness and the state of minds when we pass. And it's really incredible that science is coming into this consciousness of what we know already. Energy cannot be destroyed. So when Craig begins to work, you'll hear him give some initial bits of information about the person that has connected with him. The spirit world have this handled. I mean, you guys see Shirley Ann, Craig, and I in front of you, representing now about 150 people live on our Sunday gathering. The spirit world will choose a handful of people to step forward on their behalf, letting us all know that they are around. I know personally, each person usually says, "Oh, can my loved one come through?" And while that's nice, I think it's also important to pay attention to the messages and the evidence that does come through, because they're here for all of us. So some of those bits of messages may just apply to you. I know they do to me. So they're really good advice from the spirit world. They are around, they love us, we will see them again. They pop into our mind at the most random times, and sometimes memories and thoughts come in. That's how they say hello. So when Craig begins to work, you'll hear a few initial bits of information. If you can understand all the information as somebody that you know that no longer walks this earth, we want you to press your raise hand button. I know we've got some new friends with us, and it's also a good time to exercise that finger of yours. Go ahead and press the raise hand button for me, just so you know how it works on your end. And then it should say lower hand, and you'll want to press it again to lower your hand. And always a word of caution for those of you multitasking or out for a walk. Sometimes you keep pressing your raise hand button without knowing it. So just beware of that. Sometimes it takes a couple of minutes to get to our recipient, as some of the information may sound similar to some. It takes a little time, perhaps, but we'll find that correct recipient. When we do, I'll press a magic button on my side that something will pop up on your side that the host would like you to unmute yourself. And at that time, you'll see that unmute button pop up. We don't need your camera on. Don't worry about that. It will not go on its own. But we do need your voice. When Craig works with the spirit world, he will be giving you what they're giving him. So what we would like you to do is, when he delivers a bit of information, just say yes, as in, I understand that. No, as in, don't understand that, Craig, or I don't know. We want everybody leaving here today to know that Craig is in communication with the spirit world. Sometimes people volunteer way too much about their loved ones in readings, and you might think, did I really get a medium reading? Was my loved one there, or did I volunteer the information? Medium demonstrations are beautiful because it's an opportunity for the spirit world to say, we're still alive. They don't have too many opportunities to do that. So we're always so humbled and grateful when there's an opportunity to work with the spirit world. So that's pretty much how it goes. And if you need to say no, that's okay. Carrie and Phil teach no just means new opportunity. And that's it. What we like to do before doing our demonstration is we like to play a piece of music. Phil has picked Kenny Loggins' Footloose. We know that. We can dance if we want, whatever. This is our celebration. We're going to have some more fun. But when we do, this is what I do. I imagine my loved ones just all packed in the room with me, and I celebrate with them. You know, my dad could never clap along with the music, so he was off one beat. You know, so here he is doing that. Grammy loved to dance, so she's in the room with me. And it's just a nice time to remember celebrations, have some fun, and also just raise that energy. We'll also send Craig lots of love for being our medium today. So let us play a little Footloose, and then we'll be back with Craig Dowling. Where's my song? Here we go. Footloose. And we were just celebrating Craig's birthday earlier this week. Hello, Craig.
Sandra, thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here again. And I just have to acknowledge Shirley Ann's address there. It was absolutely gorgeous to hear the words there about the soul and the essence and all of that. But more than that, especially dancing is something that I'll admit to you now I like to do, but I'm not that good at it. But it's great to see that as well. So just a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, when we're moving forward here, to use yes, no, and I don't know. And we'll begin. So I don't know exactly what's going to happen, but we'll see how it goes and we'll just move forward from there. In fact, I think I know what we might be talking about. Okay. So I want to say that I have a lady here in the spirit world, and I understand that she's an artist as well. And I also understand that she would have made, I'm going to have to pause there for a second because I know she's an artist, but there's something I have to get right beforehand. So does someone understand the lady in the spirit world? I know she's an artist, and I know when she passes, she would have been of a relatively young adult age. So between the ages of roughly around 21 to 18, roughly. Okay. Does that make sense to someone?
Thank you very much, Craig. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Could be a loved one, could be a friend, someone a little distant, a lady about that age, young lady, also an artist. Craig, no hands up just yet.
No hands, yeah. Okay, but I do know where I'm expressing with this lady. I've seen, it does feel as though I didn't hear the age, so I will drop that. But I know what I'm talking about, this lady being an artist, and I know that someone has seen her work as well, seen the work she's done as well. So that's important.
Okay, thank you. All right, friends, the age doesn't matter. but you've seen her work. Somebody you knew, artist. All right. We have Doug and Tim with their hands raised.
Doug and Tim. Okay. I'm actually going to work with this lady a bit more. And as I'm beginning to understand her, I know we were talking about essence earlier, but really her personality was such that she didn't want to go that close with people. And it feels as though she was very private with her life. So I know where she's coming into the home, and the recipient has actually been in her home as well.
Okay, thank you very much. Tim and Doug, can you take all that information? Both hands remain up.
Interesting. This lady would have also had a very intense personality, and I feel like if you were to express, it's funny, she was the type of lady that would cut loose and just paint as well. That's what I want to say, because I know when I'm painting, it's quite intense emotions I'm getting out as well.
Thank you. All right, I'm going to put down everyone's hands. A few hands have gone up. We're going to ask if you can take 100% of that information, all the
So
way
I
from the
clarify,
beginning.
it's a lady in the spirit world. You've been to her home, and you've also seen some of her artist work as well.
Okay. We have Sunshine and Tim with their hands raised.
Okay, right, good. But with this lady as well, I also feel as though I actually feel as though there's something she hung on her wall as well. So there's something that she had on her wall that was kind of hanging down. I'm not quite sure exactly what the word is for that, but I know that's what she would have had on her wall. Do you understand that?
Okay, well, we have 3 hands raised.
3, okay, something's going on here, so. Right. This isn't moving as well either. Okay, this lady, I know she's an artist, and I know with the art she's making as well. I did mention, I think, painting at one point, or it came into my head. So I know she's an artist of paints as well.
Yes. That has not narrowed it down.
And I actually feel, funny enough, she would have been quite selective about the person she would have wanted to speak with as well. So if I'm right about this lady is actually someone that the recipient was very... Okay. There must have been a personal drawing or painting that this lady had made for the recipient as well.
Okay, that should narrow it down just a little. Tim's hand went down. Sunshine and Mina, I'm just saying your names just in case you accidentally pressed your raise hand button. You can take that information. This person did a piece of art for you. Would you like to hear voices, Craig, or?
Please, let's go with it. Yeah.
Okay.
Who do we have?
We have Sunshine. Hello, Sunshine.
Hello, everything sounds right except for the age. It's my husband's grandmother.
All right. We have
Okay.
Mina also. Mina, could you press your unmute button? Hi, Mina.
Hi.
Hi, and you can take all that information?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Is that Mina? Is it?
Mina.
Oh, Mina, sorry.
Excuse me. Sorry. If you can just listening, ladies, because I do feel this lady, it's more modern art that I'm doing as well. So does either of you understand that? I think that word is actually postmodern. I think that's another thing.
Postmodern art?
Postmodern art. So it's after the year 2000, that typical type of style.
Okay. Mina, does that make sense?
Yes. Abstract.
Okay.
There we go.
Sunshine, does that make sense to you?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Interesting. Okay. We're going to have a bit of fun then. So with the type of art that this lady would have done, I know I mentioned before that was quite intense emotion she had. So I actually think that's a verifying fact. I think that her emotions could be quite intense and the recipient would know this. So they actually must have been close with them and lived in the same house, actually. That's the only way to know. So the person who I want to speak to has lived with this person at some point.
Mina, has that been true for
Yes.
you? Yes. And Sunshine, is that true for you?
Just stayed with her, so no.
Okay, perfect. So thanks very much, Sunshine. And Mina, I'll work with you. Is that okay?
Yes.
Lovely. So you understand this young lady. I want to say young lady because I feel that when you knew her, she was quite young. We can't get away with this stuff. So she was quite a tricky lady as well. Do you understand? She had a good sense of humor.
Yes.
And I know where the sense of humor goes towards sarcasm at times as well.
Yes.
And I know she liked to depict that in her art as well.
Yes.
And I know sometimes her art could take on almost, do you understand where she had very strong political views as well?
No.
Then would you understand where she could make statements with her art that would be quite provocative?
Yes.
And I know where she'd make these statements with the art, she would hang it up in the public.
No.
Then this must have been displayed to the public.
Mm,
Let me
no.
know if I'm wrong. Good, because I know where I'm going into the art gallery. So she must have had her art in a gallery at some stage as well. Is that right?
No. Mm-mm.
Oh, right. Okay, 1 second. Would you understand where she was a little bit underconfident, Mina?
Excuse me?
Would you
Confident?
understand where? Do you understand where her confidence wasn't necessarily the best at the times,
Yes.
and where she sometimes didn't? Okay, I understand. She was sometimes a little bit. Her art was spectacular. That's what I want to say.
Yes.
And do you understand where she wouldn't bring it out to the public as such because she felt like it wasn't ready yet or good enough?
Yes.
And in fact, I know there's memories of conversations between you where she has expressed that the art is not ready yet. She's constantly perfecting it.
Yes.
And she was a perfectionist as well.
Yes.
And I know that's part of the reason why her art was so magnificent, because I actually feel like she would use a range of different colors as well, not just the base colors either. Do you understand?
Yes.
And this is also in painting,
Yes.
but it's also in oil on canvas as well.
No.
Then would you understand where there's the use of what's the name of them? The oily
Acrylic.
thing. I can't remember the name. Sorry. It's
Acrylic paint?
there's oils mixed with it anyway. Do you understand?
No.
No. Okay. Then excuse me. She must have been quite. Do you understand where she? Oh yes, she just had to get things right. That's the way she was. Do you understand that?
Yes.
And it had to be perfect for her.
Yes.
Because I know where her art, she didn't compromise on her value with that as well. And I know that she was a very truthful lady deep down as well. Do you understand that?
Yes.
And I know that she had an unusual mix of paints as well that she used.
Yeah.
And do you understand where these paints would sometimes take on? Do you understand where she made her own paints as well?
Yes.
That's what I'm trying to get my head around here, because it feels like I'm mixing all these like an alchemist or something. But she must have had like her own little place she went into. And once she was in there, that was it. No one got to disturb her.
Yes.
And this was inside the home as well.
Yes.
And this lady is actually related to you as well.
Yes. I have
And
her
she's
painting hanging up.
I'm not sure what was said there, but I do feel this lady was of and I'll be brave here and say this is actually a sister of yours as well.
Yes.
There we go. And now I know that she's there. And I also feel that she had a real, do you understand where she was a motivator as well? And she was very good at picking out people's blind spots.
Well, she was what?
She was very good at motivating you, Mina. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Because
Yes.
I know that's what she's doing here, is she's really bringing your presence forward here in a very particular manner to allow you to know that she's here with you. Do you understand that?
It makes sense.
And I also know in terms of her art as well and her creations, she sometimes would doubt herself and what she was doing. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Do you understand, Mina, as well, that sometimes you can be a little bit down on yourself at times too?
Yes.
and where you can sometimes be a little bit of a harsh critic of yourself?
Yes.
Because I know she's bringing that forward here to say good enough is just who you are. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
And that it doesn't need to be perfect either.
Okay.
And essentially, actually, she's making me aware at one stage you would have had a conversation with your sister where you would have mentioned her art and said it was actually fine, it was perfect. Does that make sense?
All the time.
Because I know she's here saying that to you, okay?
Okay. Thank you so
Very
much.
much, Mina. Pleasure to work with you.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Mina. And thank you, Craig. And thank you to your sister, Mina.
Love artists. They're amazing. Okay. Okay. So I feel have a young, they really tease me here about this. I have a gentleman in the spirit world. I know he's a music artist, and I know he was on stage at one point, and I know he played electric guitar.
Great. Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, who can understand this? Gentlemen. Okay, we have Amy and Stella with their hands raised. Craig.
Stella, lovely. Okay. We'll get a bit of work here out of this. So one of the two ladies must understand that this gentleman is actually son.
All right. We have Stella with her hand still raised. Stella, if you could press your unmute button.
Hi, Stella.
Hi, sorry, no, it's not me. I couldn't get to the button quick enough to lower my hand.
Okay, no problem.
It's not my
Both-
son.
Thanks for being
phones.
honest.
Okay. Would you like to hear from both of them? Amy and Stella both have their hands raised.
Please, let's see.
Lost
anyway.
it at the sun part. Hi, Amy.
Hi.
Hi.
Amy,
This
you
is
don't understand. Do you understand the information about this being a gentleman? He was on stage. He played electric guitar as well.
yes, he was a singer also.
Okay, and nearly there with that. But I know where he's been on stage as well, and it feels like you were after. You must understand that you've attended one of these concerts, though.
Practice in the basement. So yes, it would look like it. Yes.
Well, do you understand where there's lights used though,
Yes.
and they're black and white? They're like these flashing lights.
I don't remember them being black. The room was kind of black and white.
What I'm trying to get at here is that effect that's created when they're flashing.
Okay,
the
yes,
lights and
yes,
it's
yes,
black and
yes.
white. It's kind of like that.
Yes.
Do you understand?
Yes.
That's good.
Yes.
Do you understand that?
Yes, I remember that.
Okay,
Yes.
I'll work with you then if that's okay. Thank you very much. Do you understand this? I wanted to say young gentleman there. I know you couldn't take son, but do you understand where this he was quite younger when he passed though, is that correct?
He was younger. He passed in 2016, and he will be wanting to show you himself as quite younger, as about 22.
No problem. Just make sure and use yes and no, just please. But I know
Okay,
where
sorry.
I'm talking about him being quite like I feel like there's such a freshness here to him that I feel like he actually was you understand where there's a great level of energy that he carried within him, and I feel he was passionate about music.
Yes.
Because I feel like when I'm talking about music, it's not just singing to me or he, in fact, he actually used to dance as well.
He would dance well. He was not a dancer, but he did
No, but he
definitely
did
dance
dance.
while he's singing.
That's right. And I also know where I'm not just singing, I'm dancing, but I'm also embodying the music as well. So it actually feels like his songs that he played were from his own life experience as well. Do you understand?
Yes.
And I feel he had his own journals as well that he used to write this information on.
I didn't see them.
Then would you understand where there were notebooks or he had wrote songs? Sorry, that's what it is.
Yeah, I haven't seen them, but I
That's what I'm
heard
getting at.
from his
Okay,
son
no
about
problem.
them.
Please just
Yes.
remember yeses and no.
Okay, sorry, I'll go back.
I know, but let's move forward here. So I know where he's quite quiet as well at times, actually. Do you understand?
Yes.
Because I know where the music is almost how I bring myself alive, how I come out to the world as well. Do you understand that?
Yes.
And that's his power, his like superpower, I want to say. Because forgive me for saying this, but he does feel like a son to me here. Would you understand that he really did look up to you though, as mum? Does that make sense?
Not at all.
It does feel quite strongly though that there's a bond there, and it was really really something else. But I know he comes alive here when he's able to talk about his music, and I know that's what he lived and breathed as well. But where I'm talking about his, do you understand where there was a little bit of confusion as well about his identity at times?
I kind of think I know what you're getting. I think I know, but I can't, like I can't, I'm
Fair-
going to
fair
say
enough, yeah.
yes.
I just
I'm
know
going to
where
say
there's a bit of-
yes.
Cheers. But there's a bit of confusion here over the mind, and I'm not really sure of what I'm meant to be doing or where to be. Does
Yes.
that make sense? Yeah.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I
Now
know
I
I
get it.
mentioned
Yes.
journals there, but I know
Yes.
there's been conversations between the two of you as well that have been quite private. Do you understand?
Yes.
And where it's got to do with his own situations in life and how things were playing out for him.
Yes.
Okay. Because I know that he's coming forward to say that it was very important for him to have those conversations. And I know he's given thanks for that as well, because you understand that their bond between you and him, I know you can't take, son, but it does feel like it was a very close bond between the two of you.
Yes.
And I know there's that love there as well, because it does feel very much like he could be free to be himself around you.
Yes.
And there's only two things he makes me aware that he could be free in doing. One of them was speaking with you, and the other one was like, I'm rocking out or I'm going on the guitar.
Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
I know that's his energy there, and that's who he was, and that's truly the way he wanted to be with people. But it actually feels to me like his music, he must have had, do you understand where there were a couple of groupies as well, or people that would visit him as well at his home?
Yes.
And I know where these people would actually cheer him on as well from time to time.
Yes.
Because I know where he's saying, like, I had a posse or something. It's
Yes.
kind of, they were
Yes.
following, yeah. And I know there's conversations about that, but that's just his sense of humor as well. And I actually
Mhm.
he came alive on that guitar. You'd understand he was really you actually must understand as well. He's making me aware that he was on this guitar since he was little. Is that correct?
Yes.
So that's why it feels like it's son, because he's making me aware that there's a lot of his history shared between the two of you as well.
We didn't grow up together, so
Do you
yes,
understand
but
where you
no.
understand a
But I
lot
do
about his
understand
younger
what you're
years, though?
getting. Yes, I understand
That's
exactly.
what I'm feeling here. And I also don't want to take away from the fact that he's quite a humorous chap. And I know
Oh, yes. Oh,
when it
yes.
came to, it feels like when it came to the ladies as well, he could sometimes be he was a charmer. Do you understand that?
Yeah. Yes,
Because
I
I
do.
know where his personality comes out. He was quite a quirky young lad, I want to say. And
Yes.
it feels to
Yes,
me
very
like
much.
he came alive in front of people. It feels like such a contradiction, because I know I'm quiet at one stage.
Yes.
And then at the same time I can be this lightning, just everything
Yes.
opens up in me, and
That
I'm
is
just free.
so him.
And
That is
him. And I know,
yes, that is
he's
him.
able to bring this alive in his music as well. Now, I said he was on stage, and he's bringing my mind to this. He must have attended a concert then himself as well. Is that correct?
I'm sure many.
And would you understand where you were with him as well?
No.
Then this concert that he must have been at, he must have went to see someone. Okay. Do you
The
understand?
last time I saw him was
One
outside
second,
of a
sir. One
concert.
second.
Okay.
I just want to, because it feels like this is his moment. But
Okay.
do
Okay.
you understand where his favorite music was? Rock music.
Of course, yes.
And do you understand where I'm talking about different genres as well in that rock, like hard rock or sometimes even
Yes, yes.
metal music as well?
Mm-hmm.
Because you know what I'm about to say. He must have attended a Metallica concert as well. Is that correct?
It might have been Metallica. It might have been that last one. Yeah.
Okay. But I just know that that's when he feels the most alive, is when he's able to rock out. He's able to just dance to his music and enjoy himself.
Yes.
And I do know that this is who he was. He never changed that. And it feels like his artistic expression in just being himself, really, and in just being who he could be through that music, that was what inspired people. And I actually feel that he's someone that was a little inspiration for yourself as well. Is that correct?
Yes.
Because I know he's come forward to bring that here. Do you understand where he dedicated or had a song that he would have sung to yourself as well?
That's a no and a yes. So I'm going to say yes.
Oh,
I'm going to say
yeah.
yes.
Let me explain, because I know where he's in this. I know you mentioned basement. It feels like a stage, though, the way he's presenting it. And I know where he's
There was a
finished
stage in the
this.
basement.
Well, there you go. But I know where he's on this stage, and I know where he's aiming his hand towards you and saying, "This is to you." Do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
Because that's what he's doing, and that's the way I have to give it. So I'll just say, it's lovely to meet this gentleman, and I leave his inspiration and his authenticity, which as
Thank
well.
you.
And thank you very much for working with me. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you, Amy. Thank you, Craig. And to the young man with the guitar. Thank you.
Cass. Okay. I'll give it a go. I feel I have a gentleman stepping forward. I know it's father. And if I'm correct about this, he also would have been someone that would have hidden. I gotta go with this. I know where he's a wisecrack anyway. That's definitely it. But I actually feel like he was a bit of a businessman, and I gotta be honest. I feel like he's doing really strange things with the newspaper. So, does someone understand Father in the spirit world? He's a businessman and he did strange things with newspapers, and I've just got to leave it there for a minute.
Okay. Father in the spirit world, businessman, did strange things with newspapers. Raise your hand if you understand that information, please. No hands up yet, Craig.
Okay. I might have this the wrong way around, but if I understand he's in business, then it may be that he actually worked for the newspaper.
Okay, thank you. Now, Lisa, you had raised your hand before Craig had said worked for a newspaper. Strange things with a newspaper. Okay, we have Lisa, Rosemary, and Sunshine. Lisa raised her hand before you said working for a newspaper.
I'll chat to Lisa then. I'll see if she
Okay.
understands the first information.
Okay, and then we have Rosemary and Sunshine that both have their hands raised when
Okay.
you said
Hi.
newspaper.
Hi, Lisa. Do you understand what I mentioned about your father being a businessman and he had an unusual, I feel like he's doing something quite unusual with newspapers.
Okay.
Do
I
you
can
understand
take
this?
everything, but I can take
Okay.
everything, but it wasn't newspaper. It was a different kind of something. It was like similar to newspaper, but
Lisa, I'll just ask you one question, just to be
yes, sir.
clear. Would you understand where he had hid the newspaper or hid
Yes.
whatever this was? So it's
Yes.
hidden. And would you
Yes.
understand that was hidden inside of one of his suits?
No.
Right. But he was a businessman.
Yes.
Right. And this, the only way this would clarify is if the newspaper actually was either a magazine or it had news in it.
No.
No, okay.
That's not for me.
I'll come back then because I don't feel that's quite right.
Yes.
So there's Rosemary and there is who else, Sandra?
Rosemary and Sunshine.
Okay. Thanks very much, Lisa, as well. And please listen in just in case, okay?
You're welcome.
I'm sorry, Lisa.
Lovely. So with this gentleman, I know I'm seeing the newspaper and I know he's a businessman, but I have this feeling as though I'm actually quite, I feel like there's a great deal of status with him in this. So I know where he must have managed in the, okay, so publications. He worked in a publication, so that's a journalist, journalism, I believe.
Okay, Rosemary and Sunshine, you can both take that information. Hands remain up.
Okay, very good. And you must understand this is father as well, though.
Hands remain up.
Okay. And with father, I know as well that his personality was such, he could be quite I feel he was a very disciplined man, and he could be quite strong-minded. He wouldn't let up. That's what I want to say.
Okay, we have Rosemary.
Lovely.
And Rosemary will be chatting in the chat box
Okay,
for
perfect. Yeah.
responses.
Excellent. So, hi Rosemary, and this has got to be father. So, and I know where father could be very strong-minded at times as well. And I know where we're also in business, and this is in journalism. Do you understand all that?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. And with this gentleman as well, with father, I feel as though he was someone that he was I know we spoke about art and things earlier, but I actually feel like dad was very good at crafting his words and getting the correct amount. I feel like he was a conversationalist.
Yes.
And I know this goes down even to the journalism, to the papers, where he was making tabloids, it actually feels like as well.
Yes.
And these tabloids would have this, I actually feel like there were a couple of news stories. He was a very authentic journalist though as well. Like he was very truthful with the stories he come up with and that would be expressed to the public. That was important for him.
Yes.
Because it feels like that authenticity is who I am, and I don't steer away from that either. But I also know he was well respected in the community, because he was a man, he was actually quite private himself. He didn't carry information or news of other people. Do you understand that?
I don't know.
Okay. What I'm getting at here is I feel he's quite a respectful man, and I feel like it was important for him to be able to own who he was, and he wouldn't get involved in things like drama or that.
Yes.
And where it comes to his communication, I know that's why people respected father, because father was actually able to be himself and be true to himself. And I do feel that it was simply him being present as well, that's what was important. So you'd understand, Rosemary, where he was present as well in the home, but wouldn't say too much.
Yes.
And I know where his presence as well came forward. It was like where he had this comforting way of saying, I know where Phil sometimes says about they say a little to give a lot, but I actually feel your dad was like that, and he would have done that as well with you. He'd say just the right thing at just the right time to make you feel comforted.
Sometimes.
But where I'm speaking about his presence though, I feel like it was important to have Dad around because he was like an anchor there. You could really feel his strength and authenticity around him.
Yes.
And that's where I'm talking about him. It actually feels like he could say things, forgive me now I know where I'm mentioning about him talking or saying little, but he must have been able to say a lot with just his body language and how he expressed himself.
Yes.
And also where I'm speaking about him being a little bit stubborn at times or single-minded. Do you understand where he would find it difficult sometimes to maybe apologize or things of that nature?
A lot, she wrote.
Okay. Okay, cheers. But I do feel as though he's coming forward here because he's expressing his truth and his authenticity. And I know with that, actually, you really had to get things right with that as well. He was very straight to the point and straight to the bullet. Do you understand?
Yes.
Because I feel it's important for him to come forward and say what was right or what was wrong. And I actually feel that there is a kind of an apology for the way he was. And it actually feels like he's coming forward to bring that true to you, Rosemary. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay. And I know that it's about him being authentic, being true to his word. And because I know in many of the stories he used to publish as well, it was just, he was very I actually feel he was someone that, I actually feel like he just said it as it was. And that's what was important is there's right, there's wrong. And I feel he was quite black and white at times with things as well.
Yes.
Because I know that's why I'm coming forward with simple words to just say, I apologize because that was wrong. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Lovely. I'll say thank you very much, Rosemary, from the bottom of my heart for working with me. And it's a pleasure to get to know your father here as well.
Beautiful. Thank you, Rosemary. Thank you, Craig. Thank you to her father.
Okay. As I begin to work here again, I feel that there's a lady stepping forward, and I feel she is a tennis player as well. And I also feel I want to speak to Mum as well.
All right. We have Elizabeth with her hand raised.
Elizabeth.
Let's bring her in. Elizabeth, if you'll press your unmute button so we can hear your voice. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hi, Elizabeth. How are you?
Hi. I'm fine, thank you.
Nice to meet you. Do you understand this is daughter in the spirit world?
Yes.
And
Yes.
do you understand she was a fine tennis player as well?
Yes.
Because I know I'm coming alive here as I'm talking about it. It's like where she was very active, very energetic, and very outspoken as well.
Yes.
And I feel like there's memories of her actually. That's funny. She must have got into arguments with people as well over how outspoken she could be.
No.
Do you understand where she wouldn't necessarily have a filter when she spoke?
No.
1 second now.
I'm not allowed to say anything more, right?
No, please don't.
No.
I feel almost like I'm not here, but let's see. I know her personality is that she's got that character where she just wants to put people on the spot as well. So I feel she was actually a challenging girl. Do you understand that?
Yes.
I don't mean in an aggressive way. I mean in an exciting way, like coming forward to put things to the test. And I feel this is an excitement as well that's shared between the two of you. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Right, because I know I'm getting here on something. It's like some secret. But I feel where she's able to push her limits though in the tennis as well. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Because I know I'm talking about her going towards championships as well.
Yes.
And I know where there's also it does. I see that she's actually won trophies as well in this.
Yes.
And I see that some of these trophies are actually still here at the moment as well.
Yes.
And that they are also gold as well on the surface.
Yes.
And that's one of the things that she was most proud of as well.
Yes.
And if I'm correct about this as well, you've also been looking at that recently. Is that correct?
Yes.
And do you understand where she was able to, because I know I know she's bringing that forward to make you aware that she sees you and knows what you're doing, but also where she's able to, do you understand where there's a lot of her trophies though that are still here? Like it almost feels like you'd fill a room.
Yes.
Because I know that's what she's referencing here. It's like they're all over the place. But I also know that this was just testament to her character. Push the limits, push the limits, push the limits. Do you understand that?
Yes. Yes.
And that's the way she was. And I know with her sense of humor, and I will get this because I feel like she's quite an exciting girl to be around. And I feel like a
Yeah.
lot of friends were really, do you understand where she was quite popular in the community where she grew up?
Yes.
And where there's a lot of people that are standing by your daughter because I feel like she actually
Yes.
inspired that
Yes.
that
Yes.
list as well, do you know?
Mm.
I know when I'm talking about this tennis, some of she also had her own little posse that would go with her to the tennis as well. Is that correct?
Sorry, I
Do you
couldn't
understand
hear.
where she'd have groupies or people that would follow her,
Yeah.
fans? Yeah, 'cause
Yes.
I know
Yes.
she's referencing the second gentleman that came through as well. But I also feel this is her way of making you aware of how I see, because you're also quite like this as well. She makes me aware because I
Yes.
know she's referencing this and saying that you're where she gets this from. And I know that this is how
Yes.
much that she inspired a community and how much she was celebrated as well in the community. But I also know that when she came forward, I feel like so much of her life was spent in challenging herself and pushing her limits. Do you understand?
Yes.
And I know where she's gone to finals as well for championships for the tennis.
Mm-hmm.
And do you understand where she's also met Venus Williams?
Yes.
Because I know she's bringing that forward here. But I also know that
This is
I know
so
she's being
weird.
quite funny here because I know she's saying Venus Williams. Do you understand where she wasn't as excited as she thought she would be when she met her? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Because I know she's saying she's nothing like my mum. And that's what she's referencing here. Because I know that she's bringing forward that inspiration for you because I know she wants to say that you're the one that has. Do you understand where sometimes she got a little bit excited or overexcited at times as well when she was talking?
Yes.
Because it feels like there's just so much love here that I want to share with you, that I want to bring forward. But I know
Yes.
what she's trying to say is that you're the lady that made her who she is, and you're the inspiration that allowed her to be who she is today. Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you very
Yes.
much, Elizabeth, for working with me, and thank you to your daughter.
Thank you. Thank you.
Very welcome. You're very welcome.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. Thank you to your daughter. And Craig, thank you so much for being our medium today.
Thank you. It's an absolute pleasure to serve the spirit world.
Oh, well, I'm proud of you because we've known you for a very long time. I don't know your whole history and all your training, but you just keep stepping up to training and being part of our family and giving on behalf of the spirit world so they can have their voice again. So thank you, really thank you. And ladies and gentlemen, you can see Craig this Thursday. We have our advanced student demonstration. Anybody who is with us this past Thursday knows just what a great time we had, and so many reunions and just beautiful evidence of our loved ones surviving. So if you want to join us on Thursday, it starts the same time we started today. WeDon'tDie.com is our home base. If you go to the store page, you can see everything coming up. And join us on Thursday. Absolutely. You know, when we pass away, expire, migrate, go to the hereafter. I mean, if you can imagine a place where you can be any age you want, any health you want, you can explore any bit of information in the universe, and you can continue your life, things that you didn't get on planet Earth while you were here. The only thing missing is you've left some people behind, and you try to communicate with them through your thoughts and feelings, and maybe brush up close. Maybe mom can feel my kiss on her cheek, doing everything to say, we're still here. Time is different for them. They don't have time. So what might seem like 10 years for us might just be a blink of an eye for them. We will be there sometime, and we will understand how difficult it is to communicate. So please trust, my friends, some of the thoughts and feelings and dreams that you have. These are your loved ones saying, we're still here. And if you want to hold a picture of them in your hand or on your phone and start talking to them about some of the shared memories you have, and then just quiet your mind, see what comes back. Sometimes you get the goosebumps. Sometimes you're flooded with memories. This is how they communicate. If you take any courses with us on mediumship, you'll see they communicate through our feelings, through our imagination, through our memories. So what Craig, Shirley Ann, Carrie and Phil and medium students do is to really trust and to learn to develop those feelings and things coming in, and how to tell the story through that information coming in. In July, Carrie and Phil will be back, and they'll be hosting their mediumship classes, and we welcome you to come join us. They're fun. You never know unless you try. You don't need to want to be a professional medium, but to understand that power of your soul is really such a blessing. It is, because you get to know that if I can know this about other people, I can't possibly just be this flesh and bones that I think I am. So they're really beautiful. Again, everything is at wedon'tdie.com. Click on that store page. Next Sunday, Darren will be back. He is in Scotland this week with Scott and a gentleman named Dominic Bogue, who you probably met a couple weeks ago, who is a medium. He will also be our guest medium for next week. What else? Yeah, Thursday, student demonstrations, new classes. Yeah, I think that's it for the big announcements. Some inspiration for the week. I told you earlier that I'm going to give you my recipe for creating memories the best way. If you think of things in your life that are your favorite memories, obviously we don't have time for me to ask all of you, but I know for myself, it's when we're doing something new and we're doing something with somebody we care about. That creates the very best memories. So speaking of celebrations, we can create celebrations. We are each the captain of the ship we have called life, and we can choose where it goes. So often things happen in our life that can cause us to be down and worried and stressed, but we can put on that captain's hat, engage people in conversations about their favorite memories, or talk to people about celebrations or their favorite celebrations. There's this boomerang effect that happens when you engage people in conversations about what they love about life, or trips they've been on, or celebrations, that all of a sudden you start thinking of more, and it's like popcorn popping, and it's a celebration popping. I mean, it's really pretty great. There's a website I found called nationaltoday.com. And if you feel like being silly, it lists all kinds of things that happen to be on that day. So I found out that today is National Corn on the Cob Day. How about that? It is Cancer Thriver Day. It's also National Say Hi Day. So we can be out saying hi to people we meet. Why I'm bringing this up is we don't have to wait for Christmas or New Year's or a birthday or Cinco de Mayo to cause a celebration. You know, we can make one up. We can take one from nationaltoday.com. If we declare it, I don't know, National Feed the Birds Day, I don't know, just saying, and make a celebration out of it. Again, do something new with someone you care about. Add a little dusting of silliness and perhaps some music, and you've created a celebration. So there are plenty of reasons we know we should celebrate, but we're in the business of helping you create some great memories too. So that's it for me. I would like to now pass it over to Shirley Ann for the closing prayer.
Just coming together in the quiet again after we've had this wonderful theme of celebration. And let's just give thanks for this time that we've been able to spend together, this time that our people, our loved ones, our friends, our family have sat beside us during this time we've spent together. Let us give thanks that we can celebrate. And hopefully today we will all go out and celebrate something. But as we go out in our day, just send that thought to the spirit world to say thank you. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for being around me. Thank you for being the person you were and are and have been in my life for whatever time it was. But give thanks for that individual interacting with you and helping you be the person you are today and the person you will be moving forward. So let's celebrate each other as well as the day and what's going on. But let's take that love, a little piece of it, and tuck it in our heart is enough for everybody. Just leaving with that note for the week. Amen.
Thank you so much, Shirley Ann. Beautiful words today. Beautiful, beautiful. And Craig, thank you again. Just a pleasure to be with the two of you. And ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are in the world, thank you for spending your time with us. You could have been anywhere right now and you chose to be in the Sunday gathering. That's a reason for celebration. And thank you to our friends in the spirit world. We know you are alive, you are well, you are cheering us on in our life. So I'm going to go play our piece of closing music now, which just happens to be Justin Timberlake. I also want to say thank you to our friends who have donated to make the Sunday gathering possible. We appreciate you. And again, our home base is wedon'tdie.com. So bring it on for our last celebration. Here is. Well, I've got the feeling. I sure do. We love you guys. Thank you so much for making this our community. It's every bit as much as you as it is of us. So we thank you. We love you. And we'll see you next week. Whenever we see you, we'll see you soon. Bye. So much fun. Oh my goodness. I don't want to say goodbye. Okay, I will though. See you soon, everyone.